Here's a project we recently started. It's a 1987 Monaro 21, built by us back in 1987, of course. And so the story on this boat is the previous owner, he owned it for about 6 or 7 years, and he neglected it and left it open to the rain getting in and kind of ruined the interior. So we took it off his hands and we're now going to restore it. I just decided to make this video so you don't get to see what it looked like before we started. All I can show you is what we took out. So there's 2 of his seats. They're not original. He recently had those reupholstered. Kind of wasted his money on that when he was neglecting the water issue. But there's the cushions in the V-berth. They're kind of shot, pretty dirty. Here's the panels we pulled out. Pretty rough shape. And you can see a lot of rotting around the edge there. So this will all get replaced. So everything was ripped out of the inside. Motor's gone. Fuel tank, it was too small. Took the dash out. Even the floor, it was partly rotting. Stringers underneath were good, so we kept those, and the berth is actually in good shape, so we leave that. The bulkhead's solid. So we have this mold for the floor. It fits this size boat, but when we build these boats, the floor goes in before the deck goes on. So in this case, we can't take the deck off. So what we had to do was kind of shoehorn that floor in with the deck on, and it was a tight fit. So we stripped everything off the bulkhead, including the door jamb, anything that stuck out, and measured to see that it was going to be a little bit too wide. So we had to cut a strip off, you see here, so it can fit through. And the back shelf also sticks out a bit too much, so we had to shorten it. Cut it there, you see, and then put it in like that, and then put these pieces in after. There, and that side. And then we'll just have to, it's all pasted in now. We're just gonna glass it together and gel over it. It's all behind the back panel, so you don't see any of that. The molded floor normally goes straight through into actually under the toilet. But again, because this is an old boat, we would have to basically rip the deck off and the whole berth out. So forget that. We cut it flush with this bulkhead and fit it nicely, and cut the old floor right at the bulkhead as well, and kind of butt it together. We put some cleats underneath for it to rest on, and then we're going to make a little cleat that goes over top to cap that joint. And the bulkhead's going to get laminate to cover the surface, white laminate, so it'll look nice. And we'll put some silicone down on the joints there. The edge, we still have to glass the edge of this floor to the hull. So that's the next step. as well as the transom. Another thing I'll point out, we've trimmed the floor up here, the ends a little bit, to move this step further forward than where it normally goes by about 2 inches. This will give us more space for a larger fuel tank. Here you can see this boat has had a couple of engines. This beam across, that was the motor mount for the original engine. That was left in there. And then we've got these newer motor mounts. So I might just leave all of those in there because it's quite a bit of work to get them out. The floor's been all glassed in place, and we've glassed the joint between the main floor and this extension piece and just gelled over it. Doesn't have to be pretty because the back panel will hide all this and there'll be equipment mounted on top. And back here we've got, there's the beam that we installed. It's all glassed in place and just gel coated over to make it look nice. And on the side here you can see we had to cut the floor, this piece off the floor, so we could fit it in the boat because it was just a little bit too wide. And then we saved the piece and just re-glassed it on once the floor got in. Okay, here we are 6 months later. I got really busy and couldn't work on the boat, so now I'm just getting back at it. So what we're doing now is I stripped off this vinyl off the dash because it was kind of ripped up, and in the corners right in here there's lots of cracks. Same with this side. This was a time when they didn't reinforce enough under there, so we're going to add some glass and we're going to fix all those cracks. You see the cracks actually go underneath the windshield, so we're going to pull that windshield off. That's not too big of a deal, just a bunch of screws all around, and then we're going to fix all the cracks, and I want to spray this whole dash to match the color of the console, which is a darker gray. Or probably 6 months later again, so we're going really slow, but now I'm really getting into it. So we did, here we go, we got the windshield off, we fixed all the cracks in the dash, and we reinforced in these corners right under here. There was a few more cracks in here from the screws, so we fixed those, we sprayed it. We sprayed the perimeter all the way around, not in the middle here because we're going to put some new vinyl on. So that's done. Then I got into doing the bulkhead. So we're refacing the bulkhead with this white laminate. It used to be the teak there. So it just needs to go to that line there because behind that it's hidden. The panel goes up along that line there. So this is done in 5 pieces. So we got the 2 big ones there, those are all glued in, and then I just fit this one here, so that goes there, and then these 2 ones in the corner here, so those are all fit and ready to glue. The other one is here, so we'll glue that. There, we've got all 5 pieces mounted. This will be the glove box. That's just straight out of a mold. Now we've got it mounted flush here and here, so the panel will go over top. That'll be upholstered, and there'll be an opening, so that'll be your little cubby hole. And up here, stereo could mount if we so choose to put one in, and then supported with this bulkhead here. It's yet to be glassed in place. I've got the new bulkheads fit, starboard and port. So there'll be the battery switch will go, I think, on this side. And then there'll be a shelf going across, and we'll decide where we put the forward bulkheads. This is the footrest for the driver. It's out of the mold, so it still needs to be fit in place and then screwed in place and glass to the hull. And inside there'll be storage. Again, not sure what we're going to put in there. We're going to end the video here, this being part 1 of the rebuild of this Monaro 21. Now we've got a potential buyer for the boat, so the boat could really start taking shape. Now he wants a hard top, so we could show that. You could see the soft top windshield, so if that happens, we're not going to be putting this one back on, so that's good that we didn't do that already. So thanks for watching. Make sure you subscribe and look out for the next part on this series. Thanks.